All right. So I've done 45 days of semen retention today. So 45 consecutive days of no porn, no masturbation, no orgasms. And more importantly, no lusting. So I haven't been looking at women in real life, looking at their bodies, lusting for them, or fantasizing about having sex with them, or any of that stuff. Nothing. And I want to talk about it because it's something that's affected like most of my life since I hit puberty. Hit puberty, not the puberty. Yeah. And I made a whole recording yesterday, 20 minutes of it, and it just didn't feel right. And there's so much to uncover, so many subjects within this one subject of retaining your semen and not lusting for women. So I actually wrote some notes today, and normally I don't do that because then I'll think about the notes instead of just flowing. But there's so much I need to remember, and this is only the tip of the iceberg. 45 days. The days, the amount of days, the streak don't really matter. Because if you only focus on how many days you haven't done something, you will also imprison yourself. But it can be nice in the beginning to have something tangible, like, okay, I'm doing good. This many days. It that can work with many addictions. As long as you don't only focus on the amount of days, because it's not really important. The important part is changing the thing about yourself that you want to change, and porn, masturbation, and orgasm is a major part of like people's lives. It's like one of the main parts of our biology for reproduction, finding a partner, creating a family, and all that. Right. So, what's the meaning of this? Everybody tells you when you reach puberty. All your friends and the internet tells you that it's normal to be a sexual being. It's normal to experience all the pleasures of life, and it's normal to masturbate. In fact, you're being told that if you don't masturbate, you might get prostate cancer, or you'll have an increased risk of prostate cancer, and like all these things. So everyone agrees that masturbation is normal and not harmful. So I did that for many years. And so, yeah. The thing about masturbation is, like every other kind of pleasure that you can indulge in, at some point it becomes boring. And then your brain needs more. So, coincidentally, we live in the internet age. I remember when masturbation wasn't exciting anymore, I started finding pictures and fantasizing to them. And then it evolved into, like, I guess, I can't really exactly remember, but then it evolved into more pictures, I guess. And then at some point, you discover pornography. And in the beginning, it's not actually something you like to watch because it's very extreme. It's very, compared to a picture where you fantasize in your brain, you're seeing someone have sex right in front of your eyes. And not only that, you have unlimited access. So, in my opinion, masturbation is not really the problem, even though I think I'll get to that point later on. It's when it's not enough and you step up the ladders of addiction or getting that extra hit, and before you know it, it's been 10 or 20 years where it's a part of your maybe every day or every other day or every week, or maybe it's your entire day and all you think about and all you wait for. So that was my problem, that it became a way of coping with life. And since I begun exploring all that when I think I was 13 or 12 or maybe 14, who knows. I thought it was normal because everyone was doing it. And it was very normal to talk about like what you're watching or making jokes about masturbation. But yeah. Then I discovered that it might be bad for me, and then I started experimenting with not using it. And that's how I found out that I was addicted, because you don't just stop. When you try to stop something you've been doing for 10 years, it's not something you just do. So I've basically been working on quitting porn for 6 years, I think. And it's been many ups and downs, and I've had some streaks of, I had a streak of 177 days and 156 days. And again, not that it matters, but it just shows that I've been trying. So I've been on and off the wagon for years now, because I tried to, when I didn't want to do it anymore, when my mind was like, it's fine, you don't need to be doing this. You can do whatever you want. People should be free. You should enjoy your life and just fab away. Every time I went back to the habit, I found out that I just felt a lot worse, a lot more insecure. And then I tried to quit it again. So it's been a lot of years now, and I have a lot of experience with how my mind works and being aware of the kind of society we live in, where everyone is free to be a sexual spirit. And we have a dating app called Tinder, which you probably know of, and all sorts of other dating apps, where people just hook up and people scroll through their Tinder, they swipe and just yes, no. just picking what they want to be with, who they want to fuck and who they don't want to fuck. And that's the state the world is in right now. Most of the world. And there's plenty of subreddits and articles and videos about these topics if you start to dive into it. And you find out that millions of men are struggling, and also women are struggling with porn addiction. Because what happens is when you try to quit it, then you might stay off all the porn sites. But if you use Instagram, then there's models on Instagram. And then you quit Instagram. And then I never use TikTok, but I know that there's a lot of sexual content on there that leads you back to the extreme, which is porn. So you might quit that too. Then you go into the world, and every girl is wearing tight yoga pants because that's what's trendy now. You need to be seen. People should see your fitness body, right? So when I'm working out, I just need to look down into the floor because it's like every girl is some sort of model online working on their body and wearing the most tight clothes. And it wasn't always like that, but it is that way now because of the way that dating apps are being used, where you have to look your best and look very sexual, which is another point, that the general consensus is that you need to be like physically appealing in order to be good enough. I know that some people feel another kind of way, and it. I know it's not simple, but if you really think about it, everything is very sexualized right now. The TV shows, the movies, social media posts. At least if you surf on like the regular internet. All right. So many times my journey have been quitting, going on one of these streaks where I intentionally try not to think about sex and women and like being controlled by it. But then something happens which trigger me back into the whole thing. But that wouldn't have been a problem if only I hadn't discovered porn. I know it. I've conditioned my brain, and millions of other men have for many years. So you don't just change overnight. It's such a strong drug, but you only realize it when you try to quit it, because it's been your coping mechanism for so long that it just feels normal. And you start to feel not normal because you want to quit it, and then you go back and you just try to be normal, but it doesn't work. All right, enough about the meta, all that shit. I'll try to... All right. Benefits. I want to be in the world again when I don't use porn, when I don't masturbate, and when I don't orgasm. It's like everything clears up. My world feels like the world feels easy to be in, and I want to interact with people. I want to look them in the eyes. I want to know who they are. And when I'm PMOing, porn, masturbation, orgasm, it's a lot more of a struggle, and I have a hard time looking people in the eyes. And I have a hard time and I don't have the energy. Like it's so obvious. Like I don't have the energy to see a lot of people or like be in social circles too much. Right. It's like I also get these like tired eyes, and you have like you're like dark under your eyes, and just tired, and life is just tough. So, but yeah, then I just feel good when I'm not indulging in that. My sleep becomes way better. I get way more. I'm way stronger and way more. I can endure much more. Like my stamina is through the roof, even though I haven't been running a lot or like doing cardio. I just become way more able to. It's like the hormones that you need to thrive, and all the nutrients that you all of a sudden keep in your body instead of spurting them out, ejaculating all your nutrients out. It stays in your body and it starts to heal on a different level, and it's a remarkable, it's an amazing experience every time. You just feel this deep sense of healing. Because every time you orgasm, you spasm the central nervous system, and it floods you with, I don't remember the hormone, but something that makes you relax. That's why you like to use, that's like why men use it a lot, to relax and like to reset everything when they orgasm. Yeah. And another thing is, if you've been PMOing a lot, many times a week, you get so much time back. You have way more time to actually be doing something other than just sitting in front of your screen and going at it. Again, that's one of the reasons why I'm here, because yeah, yeah. When you all of a sudden have time to do something, you realize, what do I actually want to do? What should I be doing with my life? I realize not everyone has a porn addiction. It might be a drug addiction or alcohol addiction or food addiction. It just so happens that porn and masturbation addiction it's a very strong drug in terms of how your brain activates compared to cocaine. It's very strong, very, very strong. All right, so you get a lot of time back, and you get to actually do something productive with your life. And the good part is, since you have so much energy, all of a sudden, you now want to be productive. You want to spend your time doing something, usually with other people, learning new things, really deepening your experience of being a human, where you learn to live and learn to love. All right. Now, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Sex is a good thing. Sex can be amazing. Sex can create kids. The problem is if everyone is watching pornography and everyone thinks that it's important to be a performer when you have sex, then you're basically doing porn because that's all you ever learned. You need to perform. Both the girl needs to be amazing at doing certain sexual acts and moaning the right way, and the man should be able to pump away indefinitely until the perfect moment. So if both parties have watched a lot of porn and believe in the way that the society is teaching us to be a performer, and that you need to have sex more like more than one time a week forever, or you don't have a healthy relationship, then all the consequences and all the bad things start to happen, because you cannot stay madly in love forever and have sex all the time, and I don't think you should. As a matter of fact, I believe that because you have too much sex in the first year or two, then you kill all the excitement by having sex all the time. The man becomes just like a slave. Most times it's just the man waiting for the girl, saying like, when can we have sex? And this space between them becomes wider and wider, because the man just wants to have sex, because that's all he's ever been taught by society and pornography and masturbation, is that when he finally has sex and orgasms, then he can relax, then he did his job. He had sex because that's what you're supposed to do in a healthy relationship, and he's rewarded with a high spasm orgasm, and then he's rewarded with a lot of hormones telling him that, okay, you did your job, you reproduced, you made babies, now you can relax. But it's not supposed to be like that. You may not like this, but you shouldn't be having sex all the time. And this is a controversial thing, and I think everyone has to find their own path. If you decide to go on this journey and stop masturbating, stop pornography, and stop thinking about having sex all the time and just waiting to have sex and just wanting to have sex with different girls or your one partner, amazing things start to happen. And the rest of your life becomes so interesting and beautiful. But in order to get to that point, your identity have to shift. So I know that talking about these things will trigger a lot of people. But I'll be making more of these videos, and I'll learn how to get the message through, because there was some sort of study done where a bunch of smart people looked at all the civilizations before that in the past, and there was this pattern of the societies either have lots of energy and are building entire empires, or they are in a time of having sex all the time, being sexually free. Like that, so and while doing that, sort of just being in a plateau, not actually degrading as a society, and like everything was going wrong. So you can, so either you have a society filled with sex and pleasure seeking, or you have a society filled with growth and like prosperity, which is kind of interesting. But again, that's one of the points. Sex is so powerful that it can erase everything else. And it's not just the act of sex and porn and masturbation. It's all the times in between where you don't even know that you are being pulled by these thoughts, trying to get a partner, trying to fall in love, trying to find the one. All right, so am I against finding the partner that you want to be? No, but oh man, relationships are not just about having sex. It's about finding a partner which you respect and she respects you and you love each other. And you actually want to experience a lot of other things other than sex. But if you entered into the relationship like full on just banging all day long all the time, then then maybe you weren't ready to be in that relationship. And I know it sounds crazy, and I think I'll just leave it at that, and I'll try to get back to it. All right. I can see here in one of my notes that I've written that it takes a long time to heal if PMO has been a part of the most of your life. So for me, from 12, 13, somewhere around that to now where I'm 28 and I'm about to be 29, that is the better part of my life. Even though I started this many years ago now, I am still healing. Like, it takes a lot of time to heal. And I don't really know how to explain it, but there is this, once you let go of the idea of being a sexual pleasure seeker, then it's like you land on Earth again, and you start to wake up, like, whoa, what's going on? Why is everyone like so desperate to find someone? And then I started to focus on what I could do with my life. And I know now that if I follow this path, then I'll find the right partner for me. But it's not something that I seek. It's something that's going to happen naturally, because I'm not in a hurry now. I'm not planning this. I'm just focusing on my life. And I know that no one can save me. I can only save myself. But if I'm caught up in this fantasy of finding a wife that will save me, then I'll never be satisfied. I'll never be at peace. I'll never be joyful about life. But I am now. I want to live so much. I feel the life beating inside of me. If that makes sense. But life is a joy now. And I haven't even rebooted. I get these flatlines a lot. So from day 7 to day 21, I was flatlining hard. Like I couldn't feel anything, because when your brain finally acknowledges what you are doing and it lets go, everything falls apart, and you're just this lifeless, like I was. And again, thousands and thousands and thousands of people report the same thing. Flatlines, in the beginning, they're very long, 2 weeks. Then then you get a long time with a lot of energy, and your brain, and then it tries. It like asks you, maybe you should watch some porn. And you say, no. Maybe you should watch some porn. No. No, I'm focused on my life. And then it shuts down again. And then it's just like a week. And then it's 4 days and 3 days. And you can't really put a timeline to healing. But like 3 months of not doing any of this will set you up really, really good. And you will get to experience some of the amazing benefits. But if you only try for a month or like a few weeks and then you fall back, well, I guess that's just part of the process. You won't get to experience the full healing. So yeah, I'm at 45 days now, and I'm very excited to be alive. Very excited. And I'll be documenting the journey, of course. So I'll be doing some of these videos in the future, as well as just the normal talking videos. But I just need to talk about this. I think it's so important. And if I can inspire some young guys to change, to like take a different path early on, that would be amazing, because yeah, I know that my entire life would be different if I hadn't discovered porn and it wasn't as normal as it is. All right. Deep topics. That's how it goes. If you liked the video, please click the like button. Jeez, dude. The like button. And subscribe for future content. And if you have some courage to maybe share something in the comments about your own experiences with this, I would love to read it. All right, have a good one.